We want their vote.
What do you want them to vote for?
We want them to accept Greg Wren's legislation as written.
And what does that say?
That's going to say that the legislature now has ownership of the PACTs, the PACT community, the parents, the grandparents. The students will know that the legislature is there. They're going to do the legal, honorable, and ethical thing and honor these contracts.
Do you think the state of Alabama has an obligation already to honor the contract?
Absolutely.
A legal obligation?
I do.
And you want...
If it was guaranteed when they took my check, I suspect it's going to be legal today.
How many PACT contracts do you own?
I only have 6.
Only 6? For your children or for your grandchildren?
These are for my grandchildren. This is the Nana Scholarship. You study hard, I'll make sure you go to school.
My name is Rachel Prosser. This is my daughter, Belle Prosser. We have a PACT for her. This is really the reason I'm here today, is to ensure that she will be able to go to 4 years at a university here in Alabama. We bought our PACT in 2000 with an inheritance from a World War II veteran and a physician that lived here in Montgomery, a good yellow dog Democrat. Our great aunt believed in higher education. She believed in education for all children, and for everyone to strive to do what they could for their own benefit and their own benefit of the community around them. We've been just dismayed over the last year of the possibility that we may not be able to, do the things that we had planned to do. We realized that we had to have, other financial means, including the PACT, but we tried to plan ahead and we tried to do the right thing by our child. And this is just a time for the state of Alabama, the legislature, to come forward and to help parents who have, who've committed themselves to a contract with the state, and we'd like to see it honored.
Have you spoken to your House member or your senator?
I have emailed both of those back in the fall, early fall, and plan to speak to them today. That's one of the reasons I'm here today, to shake hands and to look them eye to eye and let them see the face of the person that this is going to affect the most in my family.
In '94, and we live in Demopolis, and we're over here to give support and hope that the legislators will reconsider and find the money to follow through on their promises. That's what we want.
Do you think the state has an obligation?
Absolutely, yes, ma'am. If you bought a car with a warranty and they didn't honor that warranty, that would not be right.
So when your wife purchased this PACT for your grandchild, she didn't look at it as an investment, she looked at it as prepaid tuition?
Yes, ma'am, absolutely. Took her several years to pay that off. And now, my granddaughter's in the 10th grade. She homeschools. In 2 years, we would like for her to be able to utilize that PACT and start to the University of Alabama. But I've read a few things about it, and a lot of these legislators are undecided. Some are for it, some are not for it. But we're here to try to encourage them to honor the PACT.
Will you remember, will you be thinking about PACT when you go to vote, next time you go to vote?
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. We sure will. And we will know who supported it and who did not support it. That's what the vote will do for you.
Transparency is a buzzword that we use a lot, but I will share this with you. It is time for the 45,000 contract holders, many of whom are 2 years old, 12 years old, 15 years old. They can't vote. These contract holders are not legally entitled to vote in the state of Alabama, but each one of you can, and each one of you know the people back home. Like Jeff said from Tuscaloosa, I'll call my aunt, I'll call my uncle, I'll call my friends. You've got to do that, folks, because the groundswell of what you guys can create to make us protect the promise is going to be in your hands at this point.
Tell me about your PACT contract.
I have a PACT for my 15-year-old daughter. She'll start school in 2013, start college. And we paid for that starting when she was a year old, and it was paid up in 2001. And I have a contract that says it guarantees her tuition at those prices back then, and back then it was around $9,000 and something. And we paid it, and they guaranteed that they would do that, and I think they ought to own up on their promise.
So you paid it out over time, you didn't do a lump sum?
Absolutely. They said it would cost, like I said, around $9,000, a little more than that, and we paid that over 5 years. We paid $170-something or so over 5 years, and it was finally paid up, and they sent me a thing saying congratulations, 138 hours and so many fees. All these fees were going to be paid for out of that, and to let them know when she started college. And really every year we'd just get a little statement, you know, and I'm just surprised that this is even a question. I mean, really I am. I'm surprised that this is even up for, oh, we're just not going to do that. You can't just not do that. You promised us something, you sold us something, and now you need to, you know, do what you said you were going to do. I can't believe that somebody would sell you something and then go back and say, no, we're not going to do that. Especially the state of Alabama, when they put it out to all of the parents in the schools. I mean, they were selling this hard. It was on the television to sign up in September or October, whatever it was, and we did that. And actually, I have one for my son as well. His is not paid up yet. My mom is working on his.
Have you ever thought of just cashing it in?
Well, actually, I had one for my daughter, and I did cash it in a couple of years ago just because we needed some cash, some money when I quit working. And I did, and I regret that I cashed it in. It was $3,000 at the time that I had in there, and I think, you know, I should have left it in there. But at the time when you're home with children and you want to stay home with your family and not work, you just do what you have to do to make ends meet. And that was the one thing we felt like, well, okay, and now I regret it, you know.
So it was probably something of a hardship for you to buy these packs?
It was very much, because it's not something, you know, at the time it's not food, it's not clothing, it's not a way to go, it's not a house over your head. It is something that was a gift. It's like a gift you give to your children. I have in my purse the contract that has the seal of Alabama on it that I was sold in 1995 that guaranteed tomorrow's education at today's prices. I think that's what they said, and I bought that. And they said that's what would happen, and I think they ought to do what they said they were going to do, which is pay the tuition for my daughter to go to school. Because I invested money, and they said that's all you need to do. We'll take care of it.
Are you going to be remembering what legislators do about PACT when you go vote next time?
Oh, absolutely. You know, we heard some politicians last night at the meeting on Dexter, and I said, if this is like a one-issue thing for me, I am definitely looking at those people that are saying, yes, we have a legal obligation to meet PACT promise. You know, I am looking at that because this is a major thing for my family financially.